What's up, everyone? It is your girl JL Beauty 87 here, aka Grace, and we're gonna get into a battle today. So I feel like y'all knew this was coming. When I saw this palette, I knew it looked so similar to this one that I had to do a look and see which one looked similar. Now, unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able to do any lower lash line work because, as you can clearly see, we got the black from the My Dream collection on my lower lash line. I actually filmed this video today just so I could use the sexy duochrome, and I knew I couldn't use the duochrome with this palette, and I wanted to wear this look for the majority of the day. So now that it is nighttime, we're gonna go ahead and compare these two cute little palettes here and go on with our day. So let me open them up in this video. I opened up in the video where I did this look to show you, but here's what both of them look like side by side. As you can see, it looks quite similar. Like if I cover up this right here, like that's definitely his with it, and then it's some darker and it's some lighter tones. So I feel like it's mainly neutral with like a little bit of pop of sultry, and this is a little pop of sultry that made everybody think this was similar. I hear people comparing it to the Glam palette as well. As y'all know, I didn't buy the Glam palette. I hate the way she named the shades in it, so I was like, I just refuse. I'm sorry, I refuse. But I'm gonna swatch the shade Color Flip along my Trio Chrome palette because I did not bring my Trio Chrome palette with me when I did this video. So we can swatch them side by side and see which one it is. So I'm gonna swatch Trio Chrome first, as you can see right here, and I'm gonna swatch the shade Vision, and then we'll see if they're giving similar tones. So I mean, they flip the same. Like when I'm looking at them now, they both have that green shift, but the color they start off with doesn't look exactly the same. But see when I move my hand, how you see the green, but like this you don't. So it's similar enough in my personal opinion where you don't need both. But I know a lot of people were talking about how they wanted to try her formula in that, and that they weren't going to pay the $129, so I can understand why she put it in there. So there you go. It's not supposed to be a repeat shade though. I've heard there's only 2 repeat shades in here. I don't remember what the other one is, but I know Black is Black, of course, is in 2 other things. She has an individual single of it, and then she has it in the Xenon palette. So there's that. Let me zoom y'all on in real quick. I'm a this is the new Patrick Ta foundation, if anyone cares. I got a different shade in it. I have the shade Tan 3 this time. One of y'all told me I needed Tan 3, so I traded in the Deep 2 I had got for Tan 3. I didn't even look at the tan shades because, you know, to me that's Karen Harris's territory, and I'm clearly not Karen. So I was like, I don't, you know, look at those shades typically. But once one of y'all told me I should, when I went in store to pick up all the House Lab stuff, which is the video you're actually watching today, that's when I went ahead and exchanged the shade for a different shade. I'm gonna go off camera now and get my eyes in the water. I'm gonna use Natasha Denona's eye base, of course. I gotta go downstairs and wash the brushes after I get done with all this because I have not washed brushes all day today. And I will come back with one eye done, probably the trying to decide which eye to do. I'm thinking I'll do the retro one because it's, you know, the older palette, and then we can go ahead and do the My Dream palette last to see if it's really the same or not. So I'll be right back. Okay, girl? Okay, so this is what I came up with on the retro side. So what I did was I used this shade Rebellious, I used the shade Hello, and I used the shade Nude Mauve. So I literally just used like these 3 shades right here to create the eye look. So now we found similar shades in this palette. So I swatched the shade Instinct, and we're going to use that. Then I'm using the shade Nurture, and I'm going to use the shade Babies, and that's what we're going to use to recreate this look and see how similar a look we can get. So we're going to start off with the shade Nurture. It's more of a like taupey-ish type shade. Oh y'all, I didn't put the eyeshadow primer. And we're going to be using Natasha's primer. What I put up here is. So since her palettes don't take a lot of like pigmentation when it comes to like the colors that she chooses, they're more neutral. I feel like I didn't need to waste my white eyeshadow base, even though Glam Light is having 40% off sale, so it wasn't like I've been getting a bad deal. Plus they're having a flash sale at Colored Rain right now, so you can get that for like their eyeshadow base for like $5, I think, during the sale. I'm just like, yeah, okay. So let's go ahead and put on the shade Nurture. As you can see, it looks pretty similar to the other side. It's supposed to be more of a nudie mauve shade, but to me this is just a more classic nudie taupe shade. But I guess with the other colors I have on, you can't really see the difference. At least I can't, and I like put it on. It might have a slight bit of pinkish tone to it that this one does not have, because I've been noticing from swatching this palette against the other palette, the swatches I have on the back of my hand here, that I feel like her Dream palette has more like peachy type tones in it, whereas the retro palette has more like mauve berryish type tones to it. There are a couple in here, but the majority of the palette seems to be more taupe and peachy inspired, if you will. So that's what I'm noticing so far. I didn't put an inner corner color in. I'm going to wrap the shade that we put on the lid into the inner corner because I felt like there wasn't a bright shade that matched from this palette with the retro palette. So I was like, we're not even going to waste the time doing it. Excuse me. And I didn't put a color inside the crease either. And I would normally do that too, but I didn't see any colors that really matched. So in spite of it looking really similar, actually doing in the leg work and putting on the colors, I feel like you don't see that big a difference. Now with this shade, I see a slight difference. I don't think it's like a huge one in my personal opinion, see, because this one's a little more berry tone, this one's a little bit more on the burgundy-ish side in my personal opinion, but that's the only real huge difference I saw with the stuff I used to create this look. And I think the baby shade that I'm going to put on my lid is a little more shimmery, if you will, and again has a little bit more of a peachy tone, whereas this one has a little bit more of a mauve-ish pinkish type tone. Those are all the things I just keep noticing while using this palette. So we're gonna go into the last shade now, babies, because as you can see, this look didn't take much to do. So I'll take my brush now, pick up the shade Babies, and just go ahead and put that on. But you see what I'm saying about how I feel like this shade is more glittery and sparkly than the shade from the other palette called Hello. I just feel like this gives a little bit more sparkle and shine to the lid than the retro side. See what I'm saying? Like, I feel like this is more vibrant than this side, but that's pretty much all I'm saying as far as difference goes, and the fact that this pulls a little more berryish toned and this feels a little more burgundy. But I feel like the crease colors look exact. I mean, the crease color looks pretty much exactly the same. This one is supposed to be more taupey, and this one's supposed to be more like mauve-y, taupe. But they look the same to me. I don't see a huge difference. I'm going to take the shade that has Instinct on it, pull it more back on here, just to kind of dust over and blend the shimmer with the shade. And that's pretty much it to this look. Let me get an inner corner brush to do both the inner corner shades. It's going to be the same ones we put on the lid, so I'm just put Baby in the inner corner again, because in the first look I did, I used Baby, but I just think it's a really nice shade, so that's what I did. Plus, it's really sparkly in the inner corner, so it's sparkling on the lid and we're just dragging it to the inner corner. I feel like if I wet the brush, it'd make it even more sparkly, but I'm going to just leave it the way it is, because this other one's not going to be as sparkly and be kind of dull because of the colors I had to choose to make sure they matched up with this palette. So I'm going to take Hello now and pop that in my inner corner. And we're going to back up, and now we're going to talk about my thoughts on both eyes and which palette I liked better and why. Okay, so my thoughts on both the palettes. Each palette I feel like you'll like for a different reason. If you're more into mauves and berry and burgundy-ish type tones, I feel like you'll like this palette better because it has a lot of those going on in it. The only thing is I feel like the shimmer that I chose was soft in here compared to the one that we got from the My Dream palette. However, I'd love to like combine this palette and My Dream palette to make My Dream palette and just put it in the My Dream palette packaging, because a lot of these deeper tones I like in here and some of these shimmery pinks I like in here, but it's like when it comes to this one, I don't necessarily like the lot of neutralish type tones I feel like I see in here and this little bit of smoke here. So I keep like this little part right here, and then I take the shade Nurture and move it, and then I get rid of these more like warm tone berryish and peach toned type shades. So this palette I like because first of all, she gave us a duochrome, and then I like these two darker berry shades. Although this one doesn't pull as dark as you would hope it would. If you watched my video on My Dream collection, then you know that. But it doesn't pull as deep as I was hoping it would, and I noticed that with a lot of the creams. Like, it'll look super deep in the pan, and when you put it on, it won't be nearly as deep. So I feel like some of these palettes should go in the palettes with the Steve and Color Stories video. But you'll like this palette if you like more of like peachy reddish tone shades and a little bit of smoke when you want to do a smoky eye, and then a fun pop of color every now and again with the trio chrome shade. But I like each palette for different reasons. So when I wanted more smoky-ish type berry toned look, I would definitely reach for this section of the palette right here. But if I wanted more of my everyday go-to burgundy mauve-ish type things, I would go for this one. So I'm going to say I don't really have a preference when it comes to this battle, because both of them gave me a similar type look. However, if I did pick one just for the hell of it, I'd probably pick this one just because it has the trio chrome in it. And for the price point, I think it's great that she gave you one of the trio chromes, because I know a lot of people didn't want to buy the trio chrome palette because you only got 3 trio chromes and it was a huge palette for like matte shades. So I'd recommend this one if you want to try her trio chrome formula and you don't mind the fact that it has peachy warm tones and only a little bit of a berry section. If you're more of a berry person like myself, I would say go ahead and get the retro palette because it's going to have a lot more berry and mauve-ish type tones, and that's more of my neutral aesthetic, even though we know I don't wear neutrals. But if I did, I would go more for this palette than the other one, because this one seems like it has more of those like warm tone neutrals to it and very little cool tones. So for everyday wear, I would say get this one. That's my personal preference. If you like a mixture of neutrals and deep berry tones and want to try her trio chrome formula, then go ahead and get this one. So those are my thoughts, but you can let me know your thoughts down below and which eye you prefer. So remember, this is the retro palette and this is the My Dream palette. So those are my thoughts. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are diamonds, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Be blessed, girl. Bye.